Alright. So today, I'm going to teach you guys how to play with fire. Sorry, excuse me. Today, I'm going to show you guys how to do steel wool photography. The first few things you guys are going to want before you start doing the steel wool photography is these things right here. So there's about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to need like 5 to 7 items before you start doing your steel wool photography, okay? So what you're going to need is that you're going to need a lighter. This is a long neck lighter, or you can choose a smaller lighter as in this one right here. I preferably choose the longer handle one because it's easier for when you need to light up the steel wool inside the whisk. It's just easier to get in there and you don't have to burn yourself. The second thing you're going to need is a whisk, just a regular kitchen whisk. I've been using this one for every single steel wool photo I've ever done, so this one has worked perfectly over the years I've done it. You're going to need a string, a rope, or a dog leash. I prefer a dog leash just because of how durable it is and how much stronger it is than any other item to wing around the steel wool when you attach it to your whisk. Okay, so that's your dog leash right here. I just have this one that's been laying around the house for many years. And then obviously you're going to need your steel wool. Okay, this steel wool is very important to you guys. Okay, so the steel wool I always use is grade 00. You can use 0, you can use 00, you can use 000, or you can use quadruple 0. Any of them work. Never ever go for any other grade other than anything that has a 0 on it, okay? It'll be too thick and the steel wool will not light properly and it won't work right. I've never used anything other than 00. I have my little kit over there and I've always used anything with a 0 on it and it's always worked perfectly fine for what I need it for, okay? But 2 more things that are definitely really important for this. I recommend you definitely bring water or a very small fire extinguisher. If you guys watched my last video, we are technically playing with fire here, so having something to potentially put a fire out is definitely very important, just in case. And definitely bring a friend along in case anything happens. And also, you're going to need a friend to help you control the camera while you are doing the steel wool. So there's a few more things that you guys are going to need before you start doing your steel wool photography, okay? First thing you're going to need is you're going to need a camera and you're going to need a tripod, okay? Make sure your camera has a manual mode setting because you're going to need to be able to adjust your ISO, your shutter speed, and your aperture settings, okay? And you're going to need a tripod because you're going to need to set your camera on top of the tripod. So, because we're going to be doing long exposure shots. So the tripod works because you need stability for your long exposure, so there's no movement within the picture. You just got to press the camera and let it do its thing, okay? So that's what the tripod is for. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to set up your camera. You're going to put your camera on the tripod and you're going to set up your shot the way you want it. Wherever you want to do it, set up your shot and have it the way you want it, okay? And then for your settings, let me get into that really quick. For your settings, I would suggest for your aperture, anything from like a 5.6 to a 7.1 to like f9 to like an f11, okay? That's going to be your aperture, alright? For your shutter speed, I've done literally everything under the sun, okay? You can do 5 seconds, you can do 2 seconds, you can do 3 seconds, you can do 1 second, but most importantly, I prefer to do something a lot longer, so anything from 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, anything from a minute, I've done it all, okay? You can choose however you want it, play around with it, and feel free to do it the way you want to do it, okay? This energy drink, bro, is such a bad idea. My mind is racing so fast, like this creatine and the bang makes me go wild. Alright, let's get into the fun stuff. Alright, let's see how to do this, okay? Alright, so you're on set. Okay, so you're going to take your whisk, and then you're going to attach your rope, your dog leash, or your rope, whatever, to your whisk, okay? So we're going to do that really quick. Just attach it so it's on there nice and tight. Make sure it's attached, okay? So what I recommend is that you're going to take your steel wool, and you're just going to fluff it up a little bit, right? You don't have to make a mess. I mean, I'm making a mess right now. But what you're going to do is you're going to pull it apart a little bit, right? And this just makes the steel wool a little bit more flexible for when you start it on fire. It helps the fire spread through the steel a little bit more before you put it in the whisk here. So what we're going to do, you got to spread it apart a little bit. So you're going to shove your steel wool inside your whisk, and you guys, you don't need a lot of this. I mean, this comes in a whole pack and it comes about like maybe this much per little unit of steel wool, and that's just about how much you need to put it in the whisk. You don't need a lot because obviously very small. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna fluff up your steel wool. You're gonna get your camera set up. Your buddy's gonna be behind the camera. You got all your settings right. You got your location. You're on set. You're all set. So say we're at 30 seconds, just for example, right? You got your buddy behind the camera. He's ready to hit the shutter button. What I recommend is that setting a timer for your camera, okay? So there's absolutely no shake whatsoever, okay? Obviously, if somebody hits a trigger button and it just goes right to a long exposure, you're gonna get a little bit of shake. So what I usually do is that I usually set a 2-second timer or a 10-second timer. I would definitely recommend a 10-second timer, because what I usually do when I'm on set doing this is that I'll hear the camera go right into the long exposure when it's done from the countdown. So it'll be like, you'll hear it beep, 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 and then you'll hear the shutter open up. It'll be like, it'll make that noise, right? So that means if I hear that wherever I'm at, that means, all right, ready to go. So I'll light up my steel wool like this, right? I'll light it up like that, right? And I'll be all set. It'll start to burn, like you guys can see right here, and it's not gonna actually start to catch fire until you guys start flinging it around, okay? And what I recommend really quick is that before you do this, definitely make sure that you have your hood up, because this shit is really hot. I'm not even joking, you guys. This shit gets really, really hot. I burned the back of my neck, and I burned a hole in my sock while wearing shoes, okay? So definitely make sure you have your hood up before you start doing this, okay? So you light up your steel wool. You're gonna light it up once you hit that shutter, and you're gonna start flinging it around, okay? And it won't really work until you start flinging it around, okay? Because once you start flinging the steel wool around, the fire will rapidly spread through the steel wool, and that's what's gonna cause the whole steel wool to catch fire and make the huge, large sparks that are gonna spread through the air and make your long exposure shot. So that's basically it. There's honestly not much to it. Have fun, experiment with it, play around with your camera settings, but definitely be careful. Like I said, you guys, in the beginning of this video, we technically are playing with fire. So just have a buddy come with you, have a friend come with you. Definitely have your safety equipment nearby. Bring some water, have a fire extinguisher nearby, just in case anything does happen.